Hi, hello, and welcome to everyone. In this lesson, you are going to learn about C++ statements. Statements. A statement is a single line of code or unit of code. Each statement performs a specific action or set of actions. Each statement in C++ must end with a semicolon. For example, it is a statement in C++. The cout is a statement or command. It is used to display output on the screen. If you want to execute this statement, we need some other lines of code. Here is a C++ program. These are all other lines of code to execute the cout statement. Hash include IOStream. It is the first line of code in the program. Hash include, it is a preprocessor directive or command used to add a header file to the program. Header file. Header file contains function prototypes, declarations and definitions of functions, classes, variables, constants, and other things that are used in a program. All header file names usually have the extension .h. There are other alternative extensions available that are .hpp, .hxx or .h++. The IOStream header file adds or gives input-output capability to a program. After the header file, the next line of code is using namespace std. It is a directive in C++ that brings all the names from the std namespace into current scope or locality. Namespace. A namespace is a feature that allows us to give our own names to variables, functions, and classes, etc. Namespace is used to organize code into logical groups or group related names together. It is also used to prevent naming conflicts or collisions between parts of code. The line of namespace using is a command or directive to tell a program for which namespace we want to use. std means standard library in C++. cout command is a part of std namespace. std namespace is a part of IOStream header file. That's why we are using header file and namespace. We do not include the header files. If we do not include the header files and the namespace, the cout command does not work. After the namespace, the next line of code is main. It is a starting point or entry point of every C++ program. It is called as main function. The main function has parentheses. It also has opening and closing curly brackets. Any code inside curly brackets will be executed when main function is called. In the program, inside the curly brackets, the cout statement will be executed when main function is called. The cout statement is inside curly brackets, so that the cout statement is executed when function is called. The curly brackets can also be called function's body. Return 0. It is after the cout command. It is commonly used at the end of the main function or other functions that have an integer return type. Return 0 ends the main function. The value 0 indicates a program is executed successfully. Otherwise, any non-zero value indicates failure. Using namespace std is removed. Instead of that, you can use std namespace directly inside the main function for each statements. That is known as a local scope. Outside the main function, if we use namespace, that is called as global scope. If you directly include std namespace inside main function for each statement, it takes more time and it increases spaces in the program. C++ compilers and IDE. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. Turbo C++ is a compiler and IDE. Dev C++ is a integrated development environment. GCC compiler is open source. It is available for different platforms including Windows, Mac OS, Linux, and etc. Clang is a compiler. It is also open source. Clang supports multiple platforms such as Windows, Mac, Linux. Microsoft Visual C++ is a compiler and integrated development environment for Windows operating systems. Eclipse is an integrated development environment. It is open source. It is available for multiple platforms that are Windows, Mac OS, Linux. Code blocks also an integrated development environment. It is also open source. It supports different operating systems like Windows, Mac OS, Linux. C++ file extensions. There are many file extensions available for C++ program that are shown here. You can use any one of the file extension after your C++ file name.